So in the case of property taxes, one of the things I think that gets missed is why property taxes? Especially when you can conjure money apparently out of nothing. You can just print dollars from nothing and it's all good. So let's talk about property taxes for just a moment here. Notice that property taxes are used not necessarily just to control people. I mean, there is a control aspect. Remember, as with all taxes, it's designed to reward friends and punish enemies. That's how all taxes operate, okay? And that's because, once again, it's like you would think that, well, it's benevolent. Well, no. Benevolent taxation would be that of a hard currency, where people are actually voluntarily giving over some money, and they're saying, hey, go ahead and use this money to pay for this road or this bridge. Once again, for the roads and bridges people out there, okay? Property taxes, particularly, this is something that needs to be understood, that particularly with empty property that nobody is on, because it's so that way you can legitimately say that you're paying taxes on this property. Make sense? So if you weren't paying taxes on this piece of land that you've done nothing with, right? And I'm not talking about in the middle of nowhere. I know a lot of you have this vision of like land out in like Wyoming, right? The frontier kind of thing. No, I'm talking about like downtown Houston, where there's pieces of land that no one's ever done anything with these pieces of land since before Texas was a state. I mean, like no one's done anything with it, but they continually pay property taxes on it, so that way they can have some kind of claim of ownership. Under common law, right, you would have no such claim. It would be like, are you going to do anything with this property? Because if you're not going to do anything with it, you're not going to live there, or you're not going to do any kind of improvements with it, then anybody else who comes along can just say, yeah, hey, I'm just going to take this and do something with it. Because to me, it has more utility value clearly than it does to you, because you're doing nothing with it, right? The idea of so-called investment property, right? This is, once again, this is a problem, particularly in the West, because you have a whole bunch of people that are being pushed out of the idea of owning the country in which they live. And I've been over this repeatedly been over this. You do not want a nation where the people don't own anything, because they stop caring about everything. Remember, for anybody who's been following me for any length of time, you understand how this works. Ownership implies responsibility, okay? If you take away ownership, then people, they're not going to be responsible. They're not going to get any responsibility for it. This is what is wanted, you understand? This is the goal. Their goal is to make sure that people don't own anything. This is where that own nothing, be happy thing is. It's like, yeah, because see, if ownership doesn't necessarily make you happy. Now, you can be happy as an owner, that's true, but it doesn't necessarily make you happy. No, it makes you responsible, and you have to start caring about things. You have to care about, well, what kind of neighbors are you going to have? You have to care about, like, again, your roads and bridges. You have to care about these kinds of things because you own a piece of it. Property taxes overall, I mean, I know that they use the money to pay for this and pay for that, but they can print that out of nothing. Clearly, they can print it out of nothing. So no, it's used effectively just so that way someone else, usually bankers and investment firms and things like that, can, and rent seekers in general, can make this just claim that they have this land and they're making payments, for taxes, so therefore it's theirs. If you get rid of property taxes, which I'm all about that, for the record, and I think that a lot of people out there, this is the strange thing, is that I probably just put conservatives in checkmate by doing this. Once again, I do this all the time. I just put you guys in checkmate, because see, now you're going to say, well, we need to keep property taxes. Yeah. See, you guys can't have it both ways. You either have no property taxes, which means that now you have no more just claim you can't just say that, oh, I own 5 million acres of land for my investment portfolio. Fuck you. If you're not going to do anything with it, fuck you. This is the same answer, by the way, that was given to that was given to the natives, the so-called natives, right? This was given to Sitting Bull. The answer was, look, if you're not using this land, fuck you. Is that not the truth? It absolutely is the truth. And by the way, that's how almost every country in this world operates, just so you know. Which, of course, is why you want to have as many people owning the property as possible, because then you have a lot more guys that are willing to defend it.